Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, Stephen Stallions. This is Mr. Tauser again. And one of the things I've been doing while we're doing distance learning is I've been trying to learn something new. Sometimes when you have time, it's good, always good to be learning something new. And one thing I've been learning a lot about, or trying to learn a lot about, is coding, which some of you know about. Some of you might know more about it than I do. But this is a thing I've been looking at specifically through code.org. And one thing I've looked at this week was how to build an app. And I know I've heard some of y'all mention you're interested in building apps. I know a lot of you have fun in the dance party section, or I had you making shapes, which is, that's just one of the basics. But you have apps all the time on your phones and other places, and this is a place on, as we're looking here on code.org, where they have an app lab where you can build apps. So I took a few of their classes, or looked at some of their lessons to figure out how to build apps. And today we're going to do a little, it's probably going to take about 30 minutes, a tutorial to build an app. So I'm going to first show you what I'm going to build, what it's going to look like when I'm done. So it's going to look something like this. That's what my finished product looked like. It's a Do You Know Mr. Tauser app, and it's how much do you know about Mr. Tauser? And if I run it, when it's ready, you click on each button to find out how much you know about Mr. Tauser. How old is he? Well, you find out he's 51. You go to the back button. Where was he born? And you click on that. Houston. And what is his favorite color? Orange. Okay, that's my app. That's what it looks like. Okay, but for today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build that exact same app again, just to show you what I did, and I'm going to open it up again to show you a couple of the features you're going to learn about, the parts about coding. I'm going to try to show you in a simple fashion. One is the design function, which, because when you get the design function, and the other's in the coding function, you're going to learn about on event, and you're going to learn about, let me find it down here at the bottom, a thing called set screen. All right, you're going to learn about on event, you're going to learn about set screen. So we're talking about designing, and then in the code, we're going to learn about on event and set screen. Okay, so I'm going to close this. Now, before you do anything with an app or with anything in computers, or actually, anything, it's really good, I think, to have an idea of what you're going to do, because that helps you kind of plan out how you're going to do it. And it's fun to, like when you're doing dance party, to sit down and just, hey, I'm going to do this and do this, and there's no real end goal. It's just you're kind of having fun. But when you're building an app, you might want to think about what purpose do I have in doing this. And so what I did before I built this, I wanted to make something that might be kind of interesting, but also it's going to be easy to explain how to do it. There's not a lot of features to it. So I went and I made up this form here, and you don't have to do it on the computer, but I would recommend, getting a piece of paper and thinking about, well, what do I want this app to do? What do I want to be in it? What information? What do I want it to look like? Okay, if you want to put pictures in it, think about what kind of pictures you want to have. But mine was pretty simple. My app idea was I wanted to have it be where you could learn 3 things about Mr. Tauser's, the 3 things about Mr. Tauser app. Okay, and then here I'm like, well, this right here, that needs to be on the first page. 3 things about Mr. Tauser. How much do you know? Click on each button to find out. And then there's going to be a page where one question is, how old is Mr. Tauser? Where was Mr. Tauser born? And what is Mr. Tauser's favorite color? So this part here for me, it took 5 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes. Before I even started doing anything coding, I want to look and say, hey, what do I want to do? What kind of app do I want to build? Because it makes it go a little smoother. I'm not trying to code as I go and just make things up. I kind of know what the end's going to look like. So it helps me to figure out how I'm going to do it from the start. So once I had that done, I go to the projects page in code.org, and I would recommend, it's not just in code.org you want to plan ahead. Anytime whatever kind of program you're doing or app you're building, or again, even in class. You know, if you here's what I want to do if I'm writing something on paper for a writing assignment. Well, how do I want to look at the end? So that helps you get there. But I'm going to click on App Lab, and in code.org, when you open up the App Lab, it's going to look something like this. Actually, it should look exactly like this. Okay, you got the screen over here that shows, as you work, it's going to show you what your app looks like. Okay, and then over here we have your toolbox, and these are the blocks that you can use. This is the coding language you can use to tell your app, tell the computer to do what you want to do to make the app work. And in this space here, like if you did, if you saw my video about loops, you know about the workspace. Okay, so this is the workspace. So we're going to start over here on the screen because as you can see on this screen, there's nothing here right now. Okay, and if I go back to my app idea, I want my first page. It's just basically say, how much do you know about Mr. Tauser? Click on each button to find out. So I need to create a couple things in here. I need to create first some buttons on here. But if I'm in the coding mode, see where it says coding? I can't do anything to this screen when I'm in coding mode. I have to change modes to design. Okay, and there's also a data mode, and I have not learned about data mode yet, so I'm not going to talk about data mode. But in design mode, what I'm going to do is I can create a button. And see what I did there? That button, I'm going to try to center it. Okay, and for this, I'm going to try to get things as centered as I can. Actually, I need 5 buttons on this front screen, but I'm going to start with just one. I'm going to do one at a time. Okay, so this top button, I want to make it a little bigger, but the first thing I want to do is I want to change the, everybody see where I am over here? I'm in the workspace. When I'm moving this, I'm going to try to find where it says background color. And this is going to change the color of just this button. Button, see where it says ID, button 1? That's what I'm changing. It's going to be, I'm going to change it to red. Okay, so now that button is now red. Okay, and I want to make it a little bit bigger because I'm going to write some things in it. And I want it to be wider. You see where it says right here, width? I'm going to make it, instead of being 100 pixels wide, I'm going to make it 140 pixels wide. You know what? I'm looking at it, and this is part of the design. You can make it how you want when you're doing your own. I'm going to make it 160, and I'm going to make it taller. I'm going to make it about 70 tall, and I look at it and it's really not centered too well. So I'm going to try to, just by clicking and holding it and moving it, I can move it. Now, obviously I don't want my button to say button, right? It's got to say something. And what do I want it to say? I want it to say, how much do you know about Mr. Tauser? Right here. This is where my idea helps. I can go back and look. Oh yeah, I don't have to remember. It's there. I know what goes there. And here where it says text, I'm going to say, how much do you know about Mr. Tauser? Whoops, I misspelled my name. That's all right. How much do you know about Mr. Tauser, right? And there's my button. Okay, when you click on the button, it opens up the information about that button. It's 160 pixels wide. I mean, it's 70 pixels high. The background is red. This font size, that tells you how big it is. Now, my message fits pretty well inside that button, so I'm not going to change anything there. Okay, so then I'm going to create another button, because on my app ID, I need to say, click on each button to find out. Each button below, I think I'm going to say. So I'm going to create another button, and it's going to go about there. Okay, and I want it also, let me find the background. Everybody see me working over here? I'm going to, and as you work on it a while, you'll get used to seeing where different things are. But I just changed it to red. That button's going to be red also. If you wanted to change the screen background, you can, but I'm going to leave it white for now. You're going to see how to do that in a little bit. Okay, but I'm going to do this one also, 140 wide. Nope, I want to do it 160 wide. And I'm going to also do that one about 70 tall. Okay, and as I see it, again, it's not centered too well, so I want to recenter it. and put it right up underneath that. And again, I don't want that to say button, right? I want to say click the buttons below to find out. Okay, so how much do you know about Mr. Tauser? Whoops. Click the buttons below to find out. So as I'm going along, I look and I say, oh, wait a second. This is a question. How much do you know about Mr. Tauser? Can anybody think what needs to go at the end of that? What punctuation? Anybody? Anybody? Well, I need a question mark. So I'm going to go here back to that. And I'm going to add the question mark so it's there. Everybody see right here now there's a question mark. So I got that. So now I've got two buttons here on screen one. This is screen one. Okay. And I've got these two things. And what now I need to have how old is Mr. Tauser? When was Mr. Tauser born? And what is Mr. Tauser's favorite color? So I keep going here. And guess what? I'm going to add some more buttons. I'm going to actually, for each one, I'm going to add a button. So I get that there. These buttons also are going to be red. Where's the background? Background color, red. Each one's got to be red. Okay, it's going to be red, and I'm going to say here for the text, I'm not going to make these any bigger, I don't think. They're just going to be that size. Whoops, I hit the wrong button there. How old is he? Question. Whoops, how old is he? That's pretty good. Now I'm going to get the next button. What was the next question? Anybody remember? Oh yeah, where was he born? Let's do that. But first I'm going to change that. Background color needs to be red. Ooh. And then I go up here where it says text. Where was he born? Cool. And then I'm going to make one more button. Because remember, there's three questions, right? This is three questions about Mr. Tauser, not two. So we keep going here. I got to change that red background color. See, there, I found it now. It's easy. Red. And I want to find here, what is his favorite color? Okay. And so now my first screen, it's all designed. How much do you know about Mr. Tauser? Click the buttons below to find out. How old is he? Where was he born? What is his favorite? Whoops. I think this happened when I did it the first time too. What is his favorite? Well, now here is a chance I can figure out my problem. All my text doesn't fit in there, does it? It should say what is his favorite color, which means either I can make my box, this button, bigger, or I can make the words smaller. And I'm going to try making the words a little smaller. So font size means how big are the words, how big are the letters. I'm going to make them a little smaller. I'm going to, instead of having them be 15, I'm going to have them be 13. Still that doesn't fit. I'm going to drop it down to 12, and I think that'll work. I think you'll be able to see it okay on a phone or when it runs. Okay, so I've got it all done. So if I run this and I click on things, nothing's going to happen right now because this app is not done. Okay, so we got more work to do. We got a good start. Now, if I go back to my app idea, there's three questions, right? So I need to next create a page, a screen for each answer. Okay, here's screen one, but I'm going to create screen two. And the way I do that, let me do this again. Over here in the design mode, there's a screen button right here. If I click on it, I can drag it over here. And look at this. I just created screen two. And what I can do is I click there in the corner and expand it out. So now that screen, I have completely covered screen one. See, if I go here, screen one is here, and screen two is here. Now, for screen two, I'm going to put the answer to how old is Mr. Tauser. So the way that works is this. I'm going to put in a button here and a button here. All right, and those buttons for this, I am going to make the, I forgot to do this, the screen itself, I'm going to change the background color. Okay, so we have screen 2. See where it says screen 2 right here? Over on the right, I'm over here. Screen 2, my background color right now is white, but I'm going to change it. I'm going to change it to orange, just for fun. And I click, and see now, oh, it's orange. Check that out. Okay, now, this button here is button 6, and I'm going to do some work on it because I need to put, what is Mr. Tauser's age? He is 51. Okay, and I'm also going to change the background color of that. And actually, these answer buttons are going to be black. See how I just changed black? And this button here, I also need to put something in, button number 7. And it's going to be a back button. And we'll show you what that means here in a little bit. But if I'm going to type what's in there, it says back. I did that, but I also need to change the background color of that to black. Okay, so there's that, 51. So this is the answer. Little spoiler, how old is Mr. Tauser? How old is he? Go to screen 2. And he's 51. Then we can go back. Now I need to do another screen. I'm going to carry it over here like I did at the top corner. This is screen number 3. Okay, and I'm going to drag it out just like that. All I'm doing there is I put it in and then I pull it down here and I get it. I want to fill the screen as much as I can. And I click. And there's my screen number 3. Background color, you know what? I'm going to make it orange. Because why not? And I'm going to put 2 buttons in like I did on the other one. All these answer pages are going to look the same. The answers are going to be different. But this one here, I'm going to say my answer. Let's see, what was my question? Where was Mr. Tauser born? He was born in Houston. You could do something like this for yourself too. You can make your own questions. Okay, background color is going to be black. Great. And then down here, I'm going to do another back button. And that's going to be black background. Okay, so there's my screen 3. So I got screen 1 is the questions. Screen 2 is the answer number 1, 51. Answer number 3 is Houston. That's where I was born. Now, we got to go into one more question, which the question was, what's Mr. Tauser's favorite color, right? So we're going to open another screen. This is screen 4. It's got to go all the way down there. Whoops, let me click. I didn't click right, I guess. There we go. Okay, it's your screen 4. I'm going to make its color orange also, which now you're probably wondering, why is he making everything orange? Well, the answer to what's my favorite color, orange. So I'm going to make my answer here is favorite color, orange. And then I'm going to make this, got to keep here, got to make the background background color black, and one more, background color black. Oh yeah, and I got to also remember to make this, got to change the button there to button 11's got to be a back button. Okay, and if I want, I can look and say, oh, that's a little bit off center. I'm going to center that up a little bit so it's a little better. Okay, so now at this point, I think all my designing is done. Okay, I got the front page, screen 1, and here's screen 2, 51, back button. Screen 3, Houston, back button. Screen 4, orange, back button. Okay, now if you only want to have one question, you want to make it a little easier, you just make one extra screen. I could have stopped at 2 and just had one question. I could have on screen 1 just said, how old is Mr. Tauser? One button, be easier, but we're doing a little extra here. Okay, so now I think all my designing is done. Okay, if I run it, you know, my screen's going to look like this. My front page is done, but all my pages are done, right? Let's see, are they all done? Screen 2 is done. Screen 3 is done. Screen 4 is done. It's all ready to go. But again, if I run the app, nothing happens. I'm stuck here, and that's because I need to do some coding. I need to actually make the codes to tell the computer what to do when different things happen. I want to look at something real quick. I'm kind of curious how long I've been going here. Oh, it's only 20 minutes. Okay, we're doing okay. I think it's going to end up taking about 15 more minutes. So if you want to take a break, I understand. It's kind of involved. That's part of why you want to plan ahead, so you're not, taking detours. You know exactly what you want to do. But it takes a little while, and you think about, all I'm doing here is asking 3 questions. So if you think about how much, like, apps that you see on phones where, the Class Dojo app or whatever app you use to watch, like a YouTube app, it takes a long time to code those things. But this is a simple thing. It's not going to take real long. But what we need to do next is we need to figure out how to tell the app to go from screen 1. Like if I click on how old is he, how does the computer know that at that point it needs to go to screen 2 where the answer is? That is a great question. All right, and here's what we're going to do. This is where we use the code. We use our toolbox here, and the first thing we're looking for is a block called the on event block right here. Okay, and you pull out, you see where I've grabbed an on event block right here, and I put it here. And we have to remember, let's see, this is button 3. See where it says right there, ID button 3? Everybody see that there? Okay, that is the name of that button. It's button 3. So if I come here and say on event, why is it not, come on, help me out. There, button 3. And see, so now my block says on event button 3, click. That means in the event, or when button 3 is clicked, here's what I want you to do. You're telling the computer this. So you go here and you say set screen. Okay, and that means you're telling the computer, I want you to take my app to this certain screen. So we know that the answer for how old is screen 2, right? So let's put this back to screen 1. So if we click on button 3, I want the app to go to screen 2. Okay, because that's where my answer is. So now, just so you can see, kind of get an idea of what I'm doing here, I'm going to run it. Okay, here's my app. Now here's my app. If you were to open this in your phone, this is Outlook, and we're going to see these. They aren't supposed to do anything. You just read these. How much do you know about Mr. Tauser? Click the buttons below to find out. How old is he? Well, he's 51. So there, that bit of code right there told the app to do that. Now, if I click back, oh, well, that's no good. It's not doing anything. You know why? Because I haven't told it to do anything yet. All right, you got to communicate with your app to tell it what to do. And we're going to use another another on event button. Okay, so on event we got to reset, and we need to go to screen 2 now. And we say, well, what's this one called? That's button 7, right? Everybody see where it says button 7? Okay, so on the event that button, you get a little drop down here. You see button 7 right there? Click on button 7. When button 7 is clicked, again, I'm going to change the screen. Set screen. And it goes back to, and it says screen 1. I want to go back to screen 1, right? Is that my main screen? Yes, it is. Okay, so here, this little piece of block is saying when this is clicked, when how old is he is clicked, then go to screen 2 for the answer. And then this piece says when this button is clicked, button 7, the back button is clicked, then you go back to screen 1. So if we did it right, that's what should happen when I run this. Let's see. How old is he? Oh, he's 51. Back button. Hey, look, we're back to the questions. Okay, so now I'm going to reset because, well, if I run it, yep, that works. That's good. But these don't work yet. So I still need to write the code for that. So I'm going to reset, and this is button 4. Where was he born? And button 4 You can also, while you're working, if you have your plan written out, you can be writing it out what you need to do, so you don't have to keep going back and checking. But I'll say, button 4, where was he born? We need to go to screen 3, right? So on the event that, ooh, button 4, right? Isn't that what I said? In the event that button 4 is clicked, then I need to change what's it called? Set screen position. Set screen to screen 3. All right, and I'm going to screen 3. This is button 9. The back button here is button 9. Okay, it's not the same button as we saw on the other one, so we got to do it a little different. So we say on event button 9 is clicked. Then we're going to again go back to screen 1. Like that. Okay, so now this piece here says when button 4 is clicked, this is button 4 right here, when that's clicked, we need to go to screen 3. This is what you're telling the app to do. And there's the answer. Where was Mr. Tauser born? Houston. And then this says when button 9 is clicked, the back button, it'll go back to screen 1. So let's see if that works. Let's see how we're doing. So how old is he? 51. Yep. Where was he born? Houston. Back. Yep, we're good, right? So now the only thing that's not working is what is his favorite color? And we can see that that is button 5, and it needs to go to screen 4, and then this is button 11. So we can do this. We go on event. You know what? When button 5 gets clicked, we're going to reset set screen to screen, what did I say, screen 11? Oh, come on now. Oh. Huh, why did it not give me that option? Button 5, oh yeah, okay, I got a little confused there. But screen 4 is where we're going, right? Screen 4 is this. I got confused there for a second. Maybe I need to take a break. All right, so now this button 5, we got to find button 5. It's saying, but when button 5 gets clicked, please go to screen 4 and tell us that Mr. Tauser's favorite color is orange. And then we need to activate we need to code for the back button. Okay, and this back button is number 11. That's what I was looking for before. So when button 11 is clicked, we want to set the screen back to number 1, right? Just like that. Okay, and I want to see how easy that is to put in here. I'm going to show you one more thing. This is this little bonus. You don't have to do this at all. But first, let's make sure everything's working. So we'll reset it. We're running it. How much do you know about Mr. Tauser? Click the buttons below to find out. How old is he? He's 51. Back button, good. Where was he born? Back button. Wait, where was he born? Houston. Back button, good. What's his favorite color? It's orange. Back button, we're good. Okay, the whole thing works. One last thing you can do, if you want. If you're, if doing this is enough for you right now to think about, that's great. If you're feeling creative, if you have a little extra time, you want to do something just to make it a little more interesting, you can add sounds to this. Okay, let's say I wanted to, I don't know, when I'm going to the part where we're finding out how old Mr. Tauser is. So that's button 3 right here. If I want to add a sound, what I can do, see where it says play sound here in your toolbox? Let's go back to the top. Here's the top. You scroll down, it's in there kind of hidden. Play sound. And I'm going to click that in there underneath. I'm not replacing, I'm just adding it too. See, it'll pop right in there. Okay. And what I can do is I can click on choose, and then it'll bring up I'm going to say this. If you know how to do sounds, download your own sounds like from the computer or recording your own sounds, you can. But for this, we're just going to use the sounds that are already in what is this called? Code.org. So maybe, let's see if I can find the number 51. Nope. Okay, we're going to go back to the sound library, all categories, and you can just find different sounds. You ever hear that sound? That. All right, I like that sound. That. And I say, I'm going to choose that. And so now if you look here, play sound, on the event when button 3 is clicked, we're going to play a sound. We're going to move to screen 2 and we're going to play a sound. So watch what happens here when I run it. How old is he? Did you hear the sound? We'll go back. You can do it again. Okay? You could put sound anytime, when the button's clicked, make a different sound. Okay? That's there. Since we're at the end here, we're almost done with this app. I want to add one little thing because some of you are just starting out on this, and some of you are maybe you want to do something extra to it. You can add sound. Okay? And again, you can use sounds from the Dojo library. If you know how to add sound from your own computer, that's cool too. Okay, so this is, at this point, I finished what I had set out to do, right? I made an app. I wanted to have 3 things about Mr. Tauser. How old is he? Where was he born? And what's his favorite color? I'm going to close my idea, and this is ready to go. Now, the last thing I always mention when we're doing one of these videos is I want to remind you how you can share things, okay? And also, you might want to first rename your project. If you have an account, with code.org and you name them, then I'm going to call this Tauser Video App. Okay, and then when I go to my projects, I can see that. Okay, so it's good to save it. Next thing I want to remind you is how you can share. Okay, so if I get this thing done and I want to test it on my phone, or if I want to share it, then I can share it with my family. You can share it with me, but there's some different options for sharing. You can send it to your phone or your friend's phone if you know their number. You just type it in right there. You can also share it on Facebook or Twitter. Okay, I don't know what happens if you publish. Don't worry about publishing it to a public gallery, but we're going to go here. Another way you can do it, right here where it says copy the link, if you click on that, it all highlights. And if you cut that, if you're on a keyboard, you get Control-C, and I just saved that link. Okay, I copied that link, and now if I open a new tab on my computer and I put that in, I'm going to go Control-V, and then it gives me that link. Okay, and look, there's my app all ready to go. Even got the cool sound. No sound on that one, right? I was waiting for the sound. All right, there's that. Okay. Again, and how you do that is you're here, you share. You can share to a phone if you want, if you have a phone to send it to, or if you just want to send it to your own phone just to test it to see how it works. It's you can make it look really cool. You can also send it to Facebook if that's something, if your parents let you do Facebook or Twitter, or if they do, you can share it. Maybe they'll let you share it. But you can also just copy the link. Okay, I click on that and it's all highlighted. And I'm going to go Control-C, and that copies that if you're on a desktop or on a keyboard. I have to say, I'm not 100% certain how to do that on a iPad or an Android phone or a tablet, but I think you can figure it out. And then you go to once you have the link, you can paste it into your address bar, click it, and then you can see it. You can also cut that link, and you can send it to me through Dojo. If you put it like in a Dojo message, I'll be able to get the link. I can see what you did, and I can say, "Oh man, that's pretty cool. Oh, look at that, Mr. Tauser's 51." Okay, so having said that, that's the end of my app. I encourage you to go try out the App Lab in code.org. Okay, if you need to watch this video again to learn some stuff, that's cool. But the main things you want to look at are, the design section where you design the app how you want it to be. Then you have the on event button, and you have the set screen button. And if you're really feeling of interest at the end, look for the play sound button, because you can add there's all kinds of sounds in the sound library. I just kind of grabbed the first one I saw, because to be honest, I kind of added that at the end. I improvised. So if I'd have planned it out, I might have found a cooler sound. But sometimes it's fun just to find a surprise sound at the end. But that's it. I am going to leave it at that and finish up this video so I can get to posting it. That's it. I hope you make some cool apps, and if you want to send me your apps so I can look at it, I'd appreciate it. And you guys, I hope you have a good rest of the day and rest of the week, or wherever you are in the week when you watch this. Thank you very much.